This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, Stuck Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, August the 2nd, 1984, one of the most memorable gold medals at the LA Olympics was held, and Jeff Blatnick of the United States was the hero. But his story is big, very big. So, Jeff Blatnick was born in 1957 in New York State, and he won many titles in NCAA Division II for Springfield College in Springfield, Massachusetts. He actually got to qualify for the 1980 Olympics, but unfortunately, that was when Jimmy Carter used his political clout to boycott Russia and forced other countries to do what he says or face consequences. Many Americans wanted to go to the games in Russia. I mean, did you think that, they would be communist? Incorrect. But you know what? He had a point. But anyway, unfortunately, in 1982, at the age of 25, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, you know, the cancerous thing that spread to his spleen and appendix. So Jeff Blatnick had to go through to radiation therapy, holding the cancer in remission. Blatnick came to the 1984 Olympics trying to win the gold medal. So there were two groups of four wrestlers in the Greco-Roman plus 100 kilogram competition. Greco-Roman is different than freestyle wrestling because you can't use your legs in Greco-Roman. So anyway, in the first round, Jeff Blatnick took on the Yugoslav Revek Mevacevic and beat him on a pin at 5:12. So he won by passivity. Blatnick in a second match shockingly lost to the Greek Panagiotis Polikaitis 3-1. So he lost by points. The strange thing is that Blatnick did not face the Japanese fighter Masaya Ando, but Ando was taken out twice. So Blatnick would face Mamasevic again, beat him, and then lose to Polikias. Yes, in the compulsory round. But strangely enough, the Greek didn't lose a match. In the final, Blatnick got more points. Polikitas never lost, but he lost by passivity to Rivik. It's complicated. Group B saw the Swede Thomas Johansson and the Romanian Victor Dilepschi win. So that was a key win for him. So in the the Yugoslav Revek beat the Romanian for bronze. The gold medal game was match between Jeff Blatnick and Thomas Johansson. So U.S. versus Sweden. Blatnick knew he had to fight and all that. So Blatnick would end up winning the match. So he was a good Swedish wrestler, Johansson, but Blatnick beat him and all that. However, a big win for Blatnick as he won 2-0 on points and got to win the gold medal. And he dropped his knees in celebration. I mean, the guy had chemo. had to go through chemo or for radiation for his cancer, and comes back a couple years later and wins a gold medal at the Olympics. The unfortunate part was that Hansen only kept the silver medal for 2 days because it was found out he had tested positive for anabolic steroids. So he didn't do so well. All that. He did win a silver in '92 and a bronze in '88, so he could have won 3 medals. Anyway, Jeff Blatnick became the first American to win gold in Greco-Roman wrestling ever. And yes, this is way before Rulon Gardner in 2000. But anyway, Blatnick would have the cancer come back to him. He needed chemotherapy, and he retired from wrestling after that. He was the wrestling commentator during the '88 Olympics in Seoul. He was a key commentator for NCAA wrestling, and even a few sumo things for NBC. Now, people are like, wait a minute, Jeff Blatnick, I know who he is. Did you know that Jeff Blatnick from UFC 4 to UFC 32 was actually a commentator for the pay-per-views? Yeah, that's right. Blatnick was a commentator for 28 UFCs way back in the day, between 1994 and 2001. And he was named commissioner of the UFC during UFC 17. And would develop the modern rules and all that. With help from Big John McCarthy and Joe Silva, Blatnick created a manual of policies, procedures, codes of conduct, and rules, many of which exist to this day. He would educate regulators in changing perceptions about a sport that was thought to be bloodthirsty and inhumane because of the early days that states thought that this was terrible fighting. Anyway, Blatnick's efforts made an impact. California was the first state in the U.S. to sign off on a set of codified rules governing the MMA, and then New Jersey came close too. He would sit cage side in Atlantic City when the UFC had their first event regulated under the unified rules. And it kept the sport alive in its darkest period, and it would flourish. And Blatnick actually gave mixed martial arts the name mixed martial arts. All that. Some say it was no holds barred. No, it's mixed martial arts because, it's a lot of martial arts. All that. So, anyway, Jeff Blatnick in 2015 was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame for the contributing to UFC. He would not make it because in 2012 he died of complications from heart surgery. It was just shocking, all that. Yeah, Jeff Blatnick, for all his stuff about, being an Olympic wrestler, he was unifying everyone in mixed martial arts and the UFC in the early days. So I salute him. The guy helped bring UFC back from the brink of being canceled because of everyone freaking out over the no holds barred type of fighting. But yeah, he did his part to help the UFC, and that's fantastic. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.